Today we're here to review this book. It's called My Name is Prince, and it's pretty darn good. Hey everybody, welcome back to Prince's Friend, exploring music through Prince. Today I wanted to kind of do another review. It's another book review, which is great. I actually, over the Christmas break, I picked up a bunch of different books. But this one was one that I kind of picked up on a whim. I was like, oh, a new book of art. Let me go ahead and get that. And I just kind of hit go in my cart and just bought it, just like without thinking. I was like, Christmas present to me. And I was like, that's an expensive book. It's 65 bucks, but I'm sure it'll be great. And then when I got it, it made sense why it was $65. Because, oh gosh, it is this huge, massive book. My Name is Prince. And it's by Randee St Nicholas, who was Prince's photographer from a lot of the early 90s, pretty much all the way up until the end of his career. And I kind of just want to give you my thoughts on this book specifically because I have a lot of them and it's a really darn good book. Before we get too deep into that, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification so you always know when Prince's Friend puts out a new video. And follow us on social media, that's at Prince's Friend YT. So, My Name is Prince. The interesting thing about Prince is he's had a lot of different photographers over his career, but it actually wasn't until Prince was no longer around anymore that I started looking deep into who were the people who were actually capturing these moments with Prince. And obviously I've gotten to speak to and become friends with Alan Bolio. I have not really dived too deep into Steve Park or gotten to speak with him. But I remember when Randee St Clair started posting online and was like, I'm gonna come out with my own book now because I have a lot of photography that I worked with Prince and I would love to share that with the world. And I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for that. It wasn't even until I grabbed this book that I realized that so many of Prince's iconic looks from the 90s through the end of his career were kind of the works of Randee St Nicholas. She was there through some of the late 80s stuff, early 90s. She was there through the slave era stuff. She was there during Planet Earth and the 21 Nights in London. So she did a lot of different pieces that like I've used as part of like my thumbnail art, and I just shared a picture of him on the mic and everything. I just shared it on my Facebook just this last week. It's just one of those really amazing pictures of Prince that I'm like, that's an amazing piece. And it turns out that it was Randee St Nicholas. So many great pieces are from her and her work. Now I'm gonna do this book review the same way that I kind of do other book reviews. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about the book itself. Obviously, it's huge. This is the back cover. It's also nearly 400 pages. It's a larger sized book than your normal book because it's a coffee table book. It's meant for you to kind of put it out for people to pick it up and just kind of leaf through it and everything like that. It's pretty cool. The pages are very similar to Prince's memoir. A lot of black pages that if you touch them for too long, your oil from your fingerprints kind of get on them. But overall, the book is a sturdy book. I've thrown it a few times and it survived. I'm kidding. You would definitely hurt somebody if you threw this book. And I would say that it's a fairly easy read as well. So I think that it's well constructed. Everything in this book is fine. I think that they picked a really good picture for the cover and the back cover. So now getting into the stuff that's actually in the book, it is nearly 400 pages. It is mostly, I would say 320 of those pages, maybe 350 of those pages are actual photos, which is great. Like, it is largely a photo book. You are getting what you are paying for. If you wanted some Randee St Nicholas photography, you got it in this book. Interspersing the photographs, though, are little snippets of Randee kind of telling short stories about her various encounters with Prince. From where he convinced her to direct the Get Off video, to the times when they asked hotels if they could film after hours, and if they were in Japan and they had to like go through approval committees so that they could get, you know, their photography done. I actually found these stories to be pretty endearing, and it made me like her so much more, especially since she kind of gave you a glimpse of what it was like to be in the inner circle with Prince. and how like when he changed his name, she would just call him Mr. P, and he would be like to everybody, hey, don't call me Mr. P. But then in private, he'd be like, it's okay, you can call me Mr. P. What I will say critically of the book is that the short stories are very nice little vignettes in between. I liked a lot of the photography in the book, and again, so many super iconic shots. At the same time, I feel like the book has a lot of kind of, I don't know, filler pieces that I think weren't used professionally for a reason. There are some in here that are just like, oh, those are amazing. And then there are a couple others that are like, cool, like, let me get to the next one. Like they weren't really like blasting me in the face with its amazingness. They were just kind of good. And it seemed weird to kind of couple in some of these good pieces with the amazing pieces. I will say that there were no outright bad pieces, but this is just my own personal opinion. I'm sure everybody's eye, will be critical of a different thing. For me, the book is definitely amazing. I've actually had it out at a few different gatherings. It definitely gets picked up and flipped through, and people just be like, they'll talk about how cool Prince was, or they'll talk about how beautiful he was. It's definitely like a conversation starter. So like have it out during your gatherings and stuff, and people will be like, oh my God, I never even realized like he looked this way, or he looked this amazing, or he had this many different hairstyles. I do definitely want to thank Randee St Nicholas for putting this book out though, because it is really, really good, worth every penny that I spent on it, and I think it's on sale, like if you go to Amazon. There's a link in the description. You can check it out on Amazon, grab a copy yourself. Again, you won't be sorry if you grab it because it is such a good book. I know a lot of people already got it over the holiday. I have a few other photo books. If I had to compare it to some of the others, I would say that this one is great because of the size. And I know I was complaining a little bit about the size earlier, it was heavy and stuff, but the quality of the paper along with the size allows you to really get a good view of the photo. I've seen some other kind of photos in some other books where they're really tiny because it's, the book's normal size and then it's not the whole page, so it's really kind of tiny. I like the larger format there. But again, I feel like maybe they should have been a little bit choosier with which photos they decided to include. I also noticed that it seemed like the book was going linearly, like it was going from the 90s into the 2000s and then so on, and then but you would just have these sections where it was just a smattering of just different pictures randomly. So that could have been improved a little bit. But what I'll say is when I was reading the final couple of pages of the book and Randee was kind of thanking all of the people and saying how much Prince meant to her, it got me. It kind of made me start tearing up. So I mean, this book is definitely heartfelt. I liked it a lot. But what did you guys think of My Name is Prince? This giant photo book, 25 inspired years, 1991 to 2016. Let me know about all of that down in the comments. If you've picked up the book already, let me know which of the photos is your favorite, because I have a few of my own. Otherwise, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you always know when Prince's Friend puts out a new video. Check us out on the Patreon, that's patreon.com/princessfriend, or hit the join button to become a YouTube member. And otherwise, may you live to see the dawn. Love you all.